Okay, today we're going to try something a little bit different. I've got a challenge for you, and all it takes is a chair. It's a fun little experiment that reveals something pretty surprising about our own bodies, and something you do every day without even thinking about it.
I mean, it sounds like a silly question, doesn't it? You stand up from a chair all the time. But what if I told you there's a way to sit that makes it physically impossible to get up, no matter how strong you are? Seriously, go find a chair. You're going to want to try this with me. All right, you got one? Here are the rules of the challenge. First, I want you to sit right on the edge of the seat. Second, keep your back completely straight, like ramrod straight, no slouching. Third, put your feet flat on the floor right out in front of you, and this is key, not tucked underneath the chair. Okay, you ready? Now, try to stand up. The only catch is you can't lean forward at all. Go on, give it a shot.
So, you're stuck, right? Yeah, it feels like you're bolted to the seat. Don't worry, it's not about strength, it's not some kind of illusion. The reason you are completely pinned down is all thanks to a really basic fundamental rule of physics, and we're about to figure it out together. The entire secret to this little party trick, and really to how we balance ourselves all the time, comes down to a concept called your center of gravity. You've probably heard the term, but let's really get into what it is. So, what is it? Just imagine you could take the entire weight of anything, a car, a building, or even your own body, and shrink it all down so it's concentrated in one single, tiny, imaginary point. That's it. That's the center of gravity. It's kind of like the object's personal balancing point. Now, this little point is absolutely crucial for understanding why things stay upright. You see, for any object to be stable and not just fall over, there is one golden rule it has to follow. And here is that rule. If you were to drop a perfectly vertical line straight down from that center of gravity, it has to land somewhere inside its base of support. You know, the area of whatever it's resting on. If that line falls outside the base, it's going down. Every single time. It's a law. And this isn't just some textbook theory. It's the reason you see massive things all around us performing these incredible balancing acts. Let's look at how this plays out on a way bigger scale. Just think about the Leaning Tower of Pisa. I mean, it looks like it should have tipped over ages ago, doesn't it? Well, the only reason it's still standing is because that imaginary line dropping down from its center of gravity, it still lands just inside the edge of its foundation. It's leaning for sure, but it's still playing by the rules. Okay, so that makes sense for a giant stone tower. Well, what about us? Well, the exact same principle is at work with every single move you make. Our bodies are constantly, and without us even thinking about it, in a balancing act with gravity. For us, our base of support is usually just the area on the floor that's outlined by our feet. When you're just standing there, that little rectangle or triangle of space between and around your feet, that's your zone of stability. Your center of gravity has to be hovering somewhere over that patch of ground to keep you upright. And we are masters at manipulating this without even realizing it. Think about a sailor on a rocky ship. They stand with their feet way apart, right? That creates a much wider base of support, making it way harder to get knocked off balance. Now think about the total opposite, a porter carrying a heavy load on their head. They stand incredibly straight and tall. They have to in order to keep the combined center of gravity of them plus their load perfectly centered over their very narrow base. If they leaned even a little bit, it would all come crashing down. All right, so now that we're armed with this physics knowledge, we know about centers of gravity and bases of support, let's go back to that chair and solve the mystery of why you were completely stuck. Let's break it down. When you were sitting there, trying to get up, what was actually going on? Where was your center of gravity? And more importantly, where was your base of support? When you're sitting perfectly upright, just like the challenge said, your center of gravity is somewhere deep inside your torso. It's roughly near your spine, maybe a little bit above your belly button. So think about where that point is relative to your feet. And there's the problem. The line dropping straight down from your center of gravity, it lands on the chair seat. It's way behind your feet. And your feet are the base of support you need to use to stand up. To get up, your weight has to be over your feet. But in that position, it isn't. It's physically impossible. You're perfectly stable for sitting, but completely unstable for standing. So how do we actually stand up then? Well, your body automatically chooses one of two solutions every time. Option 1, you lean your torso forward. What does that do? It shifts your center of gravity forward until it's over your feet. Option 2, you slide your feet back, tucking them under the chair. That moves your base of support backward until it's under your center of gravity. Either way, you're aligning those two critical things, and then you can push up.
And there you have it. The Impossible Chair Challenge has absolutely nothing to do with your muscles and everything to do with a simple, inescapable law of physics. You weren't weak, you were just trying to break a rule that can't be broken.
So now that you know the secret, the constant balancing act your body's doing, start looking for it. What other simple things that you do every single day, walking down the street, bending over to pick something up, maybe even playing a sport? What are those if not a beautiful, high-wire performance dictated by the laws of physics? Pretty amazing when you think about it.